Gentlemen and ladies, my name is Chaz, and welcome to the first ever, What if Zuko had reincarnation quirk? Or basically in kind of form. Or basically, this is the details that I like to go into from time to time. But the self-revival that is in my story one is pretty much wacky kabaki thing. It's like copy quirk, but you can also copy other people's memories, and it resets the timeline. So basically, you might hear me repeat myself over and over again. But no one else could remember except for the person that has that power. Or it's actually hit their attribute. It's a evolved form of their quirk. Or so. And reason why you're asking that I gave Zuko that power thing or that attribute is because one, some of these, or I don't have all the pictures things, like all the gruesome pictures, except for this one. And he basically, every time Zuko dies, he comes back. He has more memories of everyone around him, like copies everyone's quirk and memories into him. Basically, no one could even believe him until, okay? So, and you were wondering about this guy, the one that's looking at you. I know you'll probably like say, well, he's not a hero, he's a villain. Why is a villain in this what if? Well, in my what if, it's quite different from yours. In this what if, muscular, him, and stars and stripes is Zuko's is brother and sister. Basically, muscular is Zuko's brother, and stars and stripes is his sister. And I was trying to find a picture of Zumi, but there was so many different ones. And so, some of them are a little bit darker than in some parts of this video. Some, not all. Okay, so let's begin with Inko. And don't worry, the Sashi, I forgot to add a picture to this what if before. So, Inko and the Sashi had not just one kid or two, she had 4 kids. And 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 if it go by age thing, Zumi was the youngest. Zuko was the second youngest. Muscular was the first oldest. Her Stars and Stripes were the second oldest. So basically, boy, girl kind. So then all of them are like they were all born at the same day, but different time out or different days, but they were born all at once thing. So the 4 were got tested for their quirks thing, and the doctor, I'll just use him because he's not. The doctor says after he looked at him first, or actually Stars and Stripes, and she says, or he says to her, well, you have order quirk. It's pretty powerful. You just need to say, like, the name thing and all of their stuff. So, and then he looked at Muscular, and turns out he has the muscular quirk thing, whatever that's called. And then when they looked at, I'll just pretend this picture, her hair's green. I was trying to go for a theme, so when he looked at Zumi, and he told her that she has her parents' fire and telepathy quirk. Like, she's basically a mix between her mother and her father. So then, but then when they went to Zuko was a little bit stunned because the doctor told him that he doesn't have a quirk. As Inko was like so sad that her 4th last child thing, like Zuko, is quirkless. Huh? But the doctor actually says, can I talk to your son a bit? And she says, sure. Or as Inko says, sure. As she took the other 3 out. As the doctor never heard of such a thing called attribute. So or sorry. So he told, or when after they, like after those four left, or five left, the doctor looked at Zuko and he told him that, here, oh, sorry, I have a tappy thing. So he told him, Zuko, is that your name? You have a weird aura going around you. Ew, that I never sensed before. Of course, with you're different from those three people that I tested. You're powerful. As he, can you explain? Because basically, you're a new type of of the quirk that I had never seen before. Usually I see common like quirks like muscular and stars and stripes and your sister. But you are so different from the others. How does it feel? As he says, that is weird, but and it will be quite thinking about it. As he gets up and left. Okay? So he says, one day, Zuko, you will activate your quirk. When you do. Or actually, because he says, like, oh, sorry, ma'am, about that, he was lying. Or, oh, sorry, I did not mean to wear one, sorry. So, accidentally hit the button. So, all for one, or not all for one, the doctor was like talking to Deku about it, and when he says, have fun, Zuko, as he says, I will, as in the park, after he left, and so Inko, was able to like wait for Zuko, and so because muscular and stars and stripes and her went back to their house, but Inko stayed. And so after she saw her son, and they start walking, or of course she says, I can't believe you're quirkless. As he turns and looks at his, not only that, but there's something strange going on. Like, as he tells her everything. Like, the doctor says I have a special, like, attribute inside of me. As when he told him, or when he told her that about, I'm kind of different from all of the rest of them. As when Inko got home, she was surprised that Zuko is like the ultimate form, or has gone, as he tells her that it's gonna be alright. Can't believe you're. Well, or she asked, "What was your original quirk before?" As he says, "Oh, mine is Well, and then no, the doctor says that I had actually did have a quirk, but he didn't want to say it in front of all of you." Okay. As she, or as they, I meant to say they, but instead of she, like an SHE. But so Zuko told them that, or told her that, and it's probably going to be a bad sign. So then, when Inko was like, looked at themselves, and they're like, I can't believe our son is powerful enough without telling us what his quirk is. Not even a doctor tells us what his quirk is. Because, one, they got false information about him. And two, he has a lot more power. So they were at like age of 4. Triplets thing. Like 2 boys, 2 girls. It's so when Bakugo sorry, I have to laugh. I'm itching my butt. Or I was itching my ear actually. So during recess thing, or during the class thing, they said, or they looked at Zuko, or they saw was his, or saw Bakugo's quirk, Muscular's quirk, Stars and Stripes, and his sister. When they went and asked Zuko what is his power, as he asked them, or he told them what his power is. Self-revival thing. So they, or ultimate self-revival. It's the more buffed up version. That would make sense. Plus, when they heard that, they're like so surprised. Or actually, I was gonna say God's revival thing. So basically, he explains it's not just a quirk, it's my attribute. It's the, in this what if, attribute is the higher level than the common quirks. Quirks that, like, commons is like muscular's quirk, stars and stripes, and even like his own sister Zumi's is a common, and so is Bakugo. When Bakugo heard that, they're like, wait, so you're the next one up? As he says, yep, that's how it is. Oh, he says, yep, that's how it's all, or it is. So they time skip when they all went 15. And so the teacher here says, well, and he brought in like a paper thing, but he's like, you all want to become heroes, sorry. You all want to becoming heroes. Nope, sorry, I went back too far. So he says, well, only people that are chosen to go is 1, 2, 4, 5. There's only 5 people will go to UA. First they started with Bakugo as he goes cha-ching kind of motion, or actually it was in this what if Momo and Jiro was in the same class as Zuko. And his brother and sisters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all 6 of them are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Sorry. What do I have? So Zuko, so they went Bakugo, Hasni, cha-ching, Momo, Irozu. She got so excited, she went cha-ching, and ends up pulling out a gun. It's just, and muscular, Jiro, Zuko, and Stars and Stripes, and Zuko's his sister. They're like, so then, because the Zuko has that like attribute of he can constantly self-revival. It also can rewind time just a little, not all the way to like the ends of the earth thing. So Zuko so Zuko was happy about it, and he's always got straight A's, like all the way through, like A plus 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 plus, all the way through anything, like to his 15th. So they went in swarms. Him or Zuko, muscular, stars and stripes, his own sister, and him went down, and he. So when they were like walking down, and the sludge villain, actually, here I'll just use him. The sludge villain went and captured like Deku, or tries to use his body instead of muscular's. So muscular and her and Zumi were like, muscular tries to rip off some of that goo from his brother, like, and don't worry. So, and Stars and Stripes try to like do the same thing. Like, they both said, "Hold on, brother, we'll get you out in a split second." As Zumi says, "Stand back," as or as she just like used fire breath, tries to cook her. Sorry, I'm laughing because one, that would be hilarious. Inko or Zumi uses her fire breath to literally tries to cook that creature, or the sludge villain. In the same process, she's also trying to cook her brother. Her brother's like, oh, hold on, sis. As he was, and then, so then All Might showed up and starts doing like that, I am here, and all that stuff. Well, they saw him, like, and they're like, of course, then skip all that part. And in this what if, so Bakugo, and it wasn't attacked. And so then All Might is like, okay. So then that's only and they went to their bedrooms. But at the villain's base, the doctor, I know it looks like All For One, but the doctor told All For One that these one of the students or one of the kids has this unique type that I never seen. I have heard about it in like stories, myths, and all that stuff, but I never thought it will be possible for any child to have that quirk or as that power. As headphone users warning, I'm gonna try to attempt all for one's voice. Wow, I see that it will be quite amusing. I'm just using that voice thing, so don't use it against me, okay? So, I see. You, you someone actually accomplished a power that was in ancient history books. I can't believe how powerful it will be if it was mine. But what's this kid's name or that patient doctor? As he says, well, it's Zuko Midoriya. Ah, Zuko, you intrigued me. You got my full attention. I can't wait to meet you in person. As then Zuko, was at his house, like drawing like his favorite quirks and all that stuff. Musculars. He was not a bully to Zuko, but instead, like, he tells him, "What are you doing, Zuko?" No. He says, "What are you doing, Zuko?" Or he says, "Hey, Zuko, what's up?" And he always looks over at seeing like his favorite quirks are. He's actually says, "Well, I actually, to be honest with you, brother, the sorry, to be honest with you, brother, your your quirk is always I find amusing. Not every day that you see someone with like your power." As he knows that's a compliment, so he compliments him back, saying, "Yeah, but hey, you need some rest." Okay? So then they were like, so Zuko who says, "All right, brother, you convinced me," as he was the only person that saw Zuko doing that. As he was, he actually gave his brother a hug without breaking him. Sometimes he does that from time to time, like breaks his own brother, not like on purpose, but accidentally. Eh. So then Zuko and all 7 of them went to UA exam, and Zuko is like, he actually was like talking to his brother about how cool his how cool his his in this what if, don't worry about Koda's parents. Koda's parents is still alive in this what if. He so muscular is always, or he actually loves to fight. As he actually used his full like punch thing, he actually punches robots like they were punching bags. As he or not Zuko. So Muscular is always says, well, that's pretty much the last of them. As he sorry. So Zuko, who has always been, and Stars and Stripes says all robots. So when she says that, all the robots just shuts down, except for the ones that are not activated. So when the 0 pointer robot, sorry about that, let me do that real quick. So, and Zumi uses her fire breath to cook one of them alive. Not, I'm talking about the robots that they do. As he just like, he actually was the literal weakest one. Or then he saw a 0 pointer Roman, and they all start running the other way. And Ochako got tripped, and a boulder landed on her leg. Him says to his brother, he looked at his brother and told him, hey brother, there's an innocent girl that needs some help. As he says, yep, I'm right behind you. As they both went full speed, grabs a boulder, or Muscular grabs a boulder, threw it, and he actually, Muscular went, as he actually went, took took his brother and Ochako to safety. As he was a little bit happy about his brother. Like, good job, brother. And so, only person that really got first place was Stars and Stripes. So they all got their letter things, and Stars and Stripes and Muscular and Zumi got to class 1A, and All Might, or they said, Sarazuku, you're in class 1B. As he says, wow, okay. As they put his like brothers and sisters in class 1A and him in class 1B. As so the hard training thing, like he actually he says to Blood Hero, or actually he says that Blood Hero that he says, or actually Zuko says to Blood Hero that I'm glad that I'm put in here. He says why, as he says, well, no, he says my quirk isn't just a normal, common quirk. My quirk is a special kind of quirk. As someone accidentally used their quirk, it was actually Momo. No, and accidentally like tries to like see how far will muscular throw it. So when he threw it, it like right before the hallway thing, he actually went or he like looked like, huh? What are they? As it pierced right through Zuko's heart, killing him. Him instantly. Like the muscular was like, what? Brother. Okay. As Stars and Stripes says, well, he's dead. Oh, Ram. As Zuko's eyes, I'll just use this picture. Zuko's eyes looks just like that, but it's rewinding them into, you know, the exam or before exam thing, quirk assessment test thing on robots. So he like got startled himself, like, well, that flippin' hurts. As he looks at his chest and there's nothing there. Like, what the heck? So they were a little bit surprised as Zuko, or actually, it was, when he told his brother that, or actually, or instead of writing whose quirks are down, he has one right next to his bed. And so he wrote everything down, like what happened, what will happen, and all that stuff. Oh, as his body, he was like, okay, as they hold on. Oh. It's not COVID. It's not any of that. It's just my room is so hot. It's just ding, like sleeping in the microwave kind of heat. So when Deku went or tries to walk normally to the bathroom, and he like went use the bathroom, and when he went back to sleep, his own fibers that were, you know what he actually copied when in, how will I put this without sounding like crazy? Basically, he that was his first death. So he actually got memories from his own brother and his quirk. Er, er, and Momo's. So basically, when he tried to or when he got up, and he was getting prepared, as because girls like Stars and Stripes and Zumi were sleeping in both or sleeping in the same bedroom, but two beds are separated, like one on one side, one on the other. Uh, and the boys had a similar thing. So Muscular was a heavy sleeper, so he didn't even hear his brother like scream in the middle of the night. So when he was so timid, or he was so afraid in of what will come, as Inko looks over and says, "What's wrong, sweetie?" As he says, "Well, remember that quirk or that attribute that I told you about, or that the doctor told me I was special kind? Yeah, that revival power thing that's inside of you. You know that there's a story about that." As he says, "Well," or actually he says, "Well, the I at UA, I remember Zuko, or this is what Zuko says. I remember muscular saying to, or actually, one of the classmates, or one of the classmates says to muscular, "How far will you throw this deadly needle thing?" Or like, as he says, well, or actually, Zuko says, well, and it muscular accidentally threw it, and it pierced through my chest, leaving a big, like, hole in the chest. As muscular heard that, and he was like, wait, what do you mean, brother? I know that I only do that for accidental, not on purpose. And he says, well, it's not your fault. I'm not blaming you. It was actually Momo actually told you to throw something at something and ends up missing and hits me in the chest. Oh, huh. Not even, I don't even remember that. Well, as or he says, well, it would be one death for me because that was, I remember. As Inko was like, what? And how do you even remember that? As he says, well, there's also one other thing. As he's like became like what his brother was. he his own muscle fiber things like you see on his body. Sorry. He had or actually Zuko had a similar thing. Like his own body was a similar to it. But he says that's cool that you can every time you die you come back and you copy your quirk. As or Stars and Stripes were impressed too. Like, how did you know that? Sorry. So Stars and Stripes says, I can't believe that brother's getting more powerful. One with because it was not just when he dies thing, or if, like, say, if Muscular was used his own quirk against him, he can gain that power, or but with Zuko, because it was long range and it was had Momo's thing, so he also copied, like he says, I also copied this, as pulls out a helmet, like safety helmet thing, like hard helmet, and out of his own skin, like of his own belly fat thing. Similar to Momo's, but he doesn't have to remember what the structure is. So when they all, that's what they all saw. Like, wait, you could copy multiple quirks and multiple memories into your own body? Yep. It's quite interesting, isn't it? As then then Inko says, whatever, remember exams today. They went to exam and he did that quiz thing, and he also so Zuko like did it already, and in about one whole minute, and he used muscular's quirk and the his own, or of course Momo's quirk, right? And so at the same time, so basically he did like a similar thing, like when Lady Nagon, sorry, the that lady with a sniper rifle for an arm thing. I'm trying to say her name. So Nezu, or not Nezu, the Lady Nagon and his quirk, like the one that like she makes bullets out of her hair thing. Well, he actually makes his own like meat thing or his flesh into a weapon. Like he could turn it into a like minigun or any other thing. And without he starts remembering things. So he says, "That's cool, brother. It's what else do you remember from that and from the future thing? What will you see?" "Well, I know that Ochako will be under those rebels." "Oh, so yep, okay." As he says, "You and I went and helped her with it." All right, as they both did the same thing. But Zuko actually shot or used his own flesh thing as a spear and threw it, and it like destroys the robot in about 5 minutes, or actually 5 seconds. And he says, "That's cool, brother. I can't believe you have my quirk and Momo's quirk." So basically, I forgot to add Nezu, so don't worry. So Nezu and All Might saw what just happened, and as he so then as he says to his brother, "I hope that I be put in class 1A. If not, that's okay. And every dude, don't throw anything that Momo will tell you to like throw." As he says, "I won't." as All Might Angels and Bunny Girl, well, were like, okay, that boy's unique. He, as her, like in her citizen thing, like in her normal outfit thing, went into Zuko's house thing, and, or actually, sorry. So All Might went over to Zuko's, and they wanted to talk about on it, like, as he says, or as it was actually him saying, well, no, you did good at there, kid. How did you get that quirks thing? As he says, well, no, All Might, I have this unique attribute, and it's revival. That's what it's called. As he says, what does that do? And so he explains what it actually does. Every time I die, I can gain multiple quirks from, or like copies of multiple quirks, and it will reset the entire world, like not like only just for a few minutes. Like All Might was like, wait, so what do you mean by just a few minutes? Well, let me put it this way. If you like tried to kill me just like full smash thing, like through my chest, I would die, of course. But then I also can copy your memories. Same time. And it will like reset so you don't even remember this conversation thing. But I do. Wow. That's pretty powerful quirk that you have, Zuko. Yeah. That's why I'm trying not to die so many times. I only died once from my brother throwing something and hitting me in the chest thing. He says, oh, sorry about that. Of course, when All Might says, oh, so it was good to talk to you, young Midoriya. So he left, and surprisingly, Zuko didn't get one for all. So he was like, huh, if I only heard like stories of it. He's saying that in the air, away from everybody. He says, if he falls into wrong hands, it will be resetting the entire world over and over and over again. Like, he will be, as when he got to the meeting thing before, he was like, so what classmates are we putting into like class 1B or 1B or 1A? Or actually, they were talking about like what had happened at the exam. Like, Bunny Girl was there. She says, well, that Zuko character looks more calmer. Like, has more. He knows how to deal with the opponents faster. As Snipe, I don't have a picture of Snipe, but so Snipe, him, says, well, Zuko can be a formidable foe, but at the same time, he can also can be powerful. As Nezu looked at, or all of them looked at All Might and says, well, I had a talk with Zuko, and he, those stories of element or attributes things that almost destroyed the entire world. Each one that controls their own thing, like space, time, reality, mind, soul thing. And I know that it's an Infinity Hamlet thing or gadget, but in this what if it's attributes. So he says, well, Zuko, every time he dies, he gains like of all of our memories and all of our powers, like copies them all. Then it will rewind us into to a few minutes before. Like, what do you mean, All Might? Basically, he can, if I punched him in the stomach so hard, that like super hard, make a hole through him, he can, it rewinds hit the entire body thing, like rewinds everybody up. So he's like, wait, so he's basically a time attribute guy. As she's like, I see. Zuko might be a formidable friend or an opponent that we can never face in battle alone. So, but All Might saw hope in him, in Zuko. So the Zuko was pretty powerful. And his brother, his sister, and his other sister, and him was in class 1A. I was going to do that same thing, but then I was like, nah, just change it up. Because No, Zuko in Class 1B was so the so Zuko, when they heard Nan about Zuko is the most powerfulest one out of his brother and sister. So he got put into Class 1A and with his brothers and sisters. So then they. Oh, sorry. So, Class 1A, the Bakugo, who's? The Bakugo couldn't believe that he has to share everything with Zuko and his family thing. And Manada, or him, or actually, who will I take out? Or, well, so they went to Heroes versus Villains training thing. I'm skipping that exam, quirk assessment test. As Zuko got first place in that and everything, and his brother got second, and their sister got third. So then he. I know I just thought about it. You were probably all thinking, why is during that exam is his sister is the first place, his brother is second, and would Zumi be third in Class 1A and him being in Class 1B? Yes, true, but he or All Might knows, and so does Nezu, know that Zuko is the most powerfulest one. And he's basically a time manipulation thing. So then I'm skipping that part so that at to USJ thing. So they were all talking about their quirks, and when they asked Zuko what is his quirk, he says, well, my quirk is actually, or actually his brother rudely interrupted, he has a attribute as his, not, it's evolved form from his. He says, brother, quit telling them all of those things. He says, sorry, I beat you to it, so, haha. As they knew that Zuko will be the most powerfulest one, and their goal, all of them agree that don't let Zuko die. Because he told him, if I do die, it will reset the world, but I can first, let me explain. First, I can copy your memories, your powers. Not your appearance, that would have been weird. But he says, I can also, it would be original one. The day that I'll be like dead thing. But he says if I do die, and I will take that day the all of your quirks surrounding or all of your all of your memories and all of your quirks will be copied into my body, like the thing that I did with my skin, as he made like musculars, and he like did like a little sharp knife, and some or most of them are like, wait, so you basically will do that, and he also says, yep, and I also can reset the entire world just for minutes. Like, we would be, I would be remembering this conversation, but you would all not, you will all not be remembering this conversation because of, okay? As Racerhead heard what Zuko's attribute is, he was explaining it to him. So Mr. Aizawa couldn't erase the attribute type because it's a new type above his own quirk. So then they all agree that if Zuko does die, he will be it would be game over for them. Like, it will reset their brains or their memories and all that stuff. So then, so they said, "Don't let Zuko die." Thing, as so does the Class 1B, because they were both sharing the same bus. Us, and so did his brothers and sisters. As when they got to UA and had an encounter with villains like him and the gnome or the warp guy, Zuko, who basically almost had a panic attack, and his brother tried to calm him down, like, calm down, brother, it's don't worry, we'll take out these losers. Bakugo agrees with him. Yeah, just sit this one out, Zuko. We'll deal with those two bozos or those villains. Because Mr. Aizawa and 13, or actually 13 was confused what's going on, as Mr. Aizawa explains that Zuko has this self-revival quirk or attribute that's pretty powerful. Every dude, don't let him die. 13, as he says, or as she says, yep, okay. As the nomu, who are actually Shiraki-sen, I'll try to attempt his voice. Nomu. kill that. Oh, that. Whatever his name is. I believe it. Or as a Shraha or Kirigiri says, well, that kid that has green hair, that and has his outfit thing is Zuko Midoriya. Ah, I see. The only Nomu? Kill him. Are you sure about killing him, Shiraki-san? He will reset the entire world. Who cares? As long as he kills something by using the Nomu, I'll feel great about myself. Oh. As the Nomu starts running, charging right at Zuko, trying to kill him. But instead, or actually, his brother got into the way of that Nomu, and that Nomu was strong. So he hits him away and fully charges, and he actually, instead of attacking him like good, killing him, he actually sheltered him. Like, kind of like that. And instead of, what's going on? It's so weird. As Nomu knows that Zuko, or actually one of his friends, or everyone was his friends, or all of his classmates were his best friends. One of them actually did die from like something, and so he remembers Zuko really clearly. As Muscular says, well, someone likes you, Zuko, but I know that it won't be for long. As he tries to attack him, but then he ends up getting flung around. Then All Might shows up, beats Nomu, and the pro hero shows up. Darn, I think that all the pro heroes are here, so game over for now. I can't wait to meet you, Zuko Midoriya. Proper way. As they both like teleported away with, of course, it was kind of weird. So then they all like did their things, and Inko was sobbing her eyes out because she thought Zuko was gonna get killed because he was the first target, because all the villains went in and tried to attack Zuko, and tries to, and they, or All Might was like, why did they have to go after you first, Zuko? As he says, I really don't know. Oh, why? Yeah. But as at the villain's base, Shiraki-sen, he got shot thing in the kneecaps. So he says, "It's over. I thought I was gonna have more fun with them." As hold on, as All for One says, as to no worries, Shiraki said, and it's just the beginning, not the end, but the beginning. So this kid Zuko, I wanted you to snatch him away from pro heroes, and you failed, but that's okay. We always get a couple more shots in. As Shiraki-sen says, "Sorry to ask you this awkward question, but why are you so interested in this boy?" As All for One says, "Well, let me say let's make him become my soldier of rewind time thing. Because imagine him constantly dying over and over and over again until he absorbed all the knowledge of the entire universe. And let me steal all that knowledge from them." "Oh, I see. You're planning to make him become more overpowered, I see." Yeah. That's what at the villain's base. At the same time, muscular, or actually not muscular, Zumi says, "Are you okay, big brother?" He says, "I'm fine, baby sister. It's just a couple. There's no wounds, but how is that possible that they all targeted me for?" As Inko says, "Well, there's one thing. Because it was at their house, you probably have that God's revival attribute that allows you to like constantly self revives yourself with like, eh?" As he says, "But that doesn't explain why the nomu wasn't able to attack." As then the clamp arc thing, and as Dobby, Toga, and rest of them grabbed Zuko, or at the sports festival. I'm skipping that part because one, or actually, hold on. Todoroki in this what if like used a crystal thing like ice and fire, like one after the other, and he accidentally got killed or Zuko got killed by getting impaled by a ice, and the fire quirk hurt through his mouth, and he so then they're like, Zuko, oh, stay with us, please stay with us. They were so worried about him. He actually, or only person that really knew that Zuko, or so he wrote down really fast that to his self, his past self thing. It's like weird, yes. But so the world got reset for a few minutes. Let's say all the way to not heroes versus villains, but to the USJ. Or no. To hero, not heroes. Yeah. Let's do that. Heroes versus villains things. Or all the way to actually all the way to All Might and or all the way to exam thing. As he was like got up again. Like what the heck's going on? It's the died twice. Sheesh. As he looks at and he looks at muscular that's still sleeping. So then he ends up trying to remember. Alright, he's trying to remember, or he actually was. He remembers all of it, like he absorbed all the memories and their quirks. So he becomes like, he was like, what the heck? As Inko was the first one up, or actually not Inko, I meant for like a kids thing, was actually her, or Stars and Stripes. Or he actually wrote it down before. So he went and grabbed a drink of water thing. And when he grabbed the water, it turned to ice. Like, what the heck? As Stars and Stripes says, couldn't sleep, huh? As he's, of course, she scared him. Like, sorry, big brother, hey? And they're doing okay? He says, yeah, I'm doing fine, big sis. It's the... Something's weird about me. As she ends up saying, what's weird? Are you having those, like, dreams again? As he says, yeah, but when I tried to grab the water bottle from in the refrigerator thing with this hand, as he points to his right hand in or left. I always get mixed up. So basically, right and then left. Okay. Right hand, it would be like technically would be right side of his, like his hand that's on his right side of his body. He says, well, the water bottle froze on me. So here go as he, because he she knows that, or his sister knows that he's not lying. As when she saw the water bottle, like froze all the way solid, like as she couldn't even get the lid off of it, off of that water bottle. So then Zuko, you know, tried to use his other, like his left side. It turns it into hot water instead of ice cold. It was hot water. Like, okay, as it was, of course, almost morning. So they, so Inko got up and she went and checked on Zuko, and she ends up finding out that the water bottle that's right next to his bed was hot water. Like, it was super hot. So so her daughter, her oldest daughter, was told her that Zuko has the half fire, half ice. So she's like, "What? I can't believe." And she almost tried to grab a water bottle thing, but ends up burning her fingers. Like, ow, that hurt. As she puts her gloves on, or actually Zuko, or she woke up Zuko, and Zuko got up and he grabs a water with his right hand, and it turns ice cold, like so cold, it felt like the Arctic, like ice cold. As his brother says, "Wow, that's cool." As they're like, "Yeah, I I tried to open the lid of it once, or this morning when Ian and Zuko were up and at him thing." And she says, "I couldn't get the lid off of the water bottle's lid thing." He says, okay, let me try." As he tries to do it, and like he tries to opening a water bottle, and he ends up like breaking it into like fragments things, like little ice crystals. As I'm sorry. So then similar thing, but Zuko could now use ice and fire at the same time. Like he could use Momo's creative quirk, Muscular's is power, and he can now use fire and ice from Todoroki. In all of those combinations. And so then the similar thing, skipping all that because it's the same thing. And so then when they got to the Bakugo, or not Bakugo, Stain was actually in this what if. Stain didn't kill or Tinya's his brother. But he ends up like trying to figure out is because he has, or actually I'm putting him with, or he was actually in this what if the psycho murderer thing, hero killer Stain. It was actually, I'm laughing because in my what if, or in this what if, more accurate term, hero killer Stain or Stain is Zuko's cousin. I know, a psycho murderer that only kills fake heroes with a that drinks blood all day, with Zuko that has the can, if someone tries to kill him, gains all that stuff. So then Zuko went to class 1A, got attacked, or all that stuff, and sports festival. When Mr. Aizawa saw his own note that he left him, because it rewinded and them to a, so he left it, and when Mr. Aizawa sees that it says from Mr. Aizawa, from himself. So he's like, I don't remember. And it says Zuko got impaled by Todoroki. Okay. As there was like his own copy of a board thing of what here those things. So when they saw him, like, okay, that is just weird. How in the heck? I don't even remember putting it there. So then sports, or then hero thing. Sorry. Muscular went for that went for her because she's a pro hero, but she has an internship for like the people that would rather like kick butt all the day. Muscular went for that. So did her. And so Izumi was went for more calmer one. And Zuko went for like I was gonna say Endeavor, but then yeah, Endeavor. And it was so muscular was like, okay, I hope that. So then it was kind of like everything gone accordingly. So then All Might, he actually tells Endeavor that don't let Zuko die. He, or actually, he still had one for all, but he really wanted to go tell him that he's ready and doing all that stuff. But if he so he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this, do that, do that." So basically, so basically, and the like all the nomus that were attacking the city, when instead of attacking Zuko, they went and attacked, or they actually went up and cuddled him. They're like, or Endeavor's like, you're really getting, as he was quite embarrassed as Endeavor tries to like get some of those nomus off, as he used his own, or Zuko uses Todoroki's fire quirk thing and to boost his own rate. So when they saw his power, they were like, okay, good. So he was like, how was it? As he was pretty powerful. So then one of the nomus and charges full throttle right at Endeavor, and or actually not fully charged, but he ends up walks walks all the way to Zuko and straight up hugs him, like saying in a weird demonic voice thing, "We have missed you, Zuko. We have no grudges against you, Zuko, but we do have grudges against those pro heroes," as he points his pointy finger at Endeavor. Our master tells us that, or commands us to kill you pro heroes. But we care about you, Zuko, so you'll live. All of them die. As he says, before, can I ask, what's your name? As he says, oh, I forgot to introduce myself. Gosh dang it, I forgot that. As it dawns on him, wait, you're Trollo, or forgetful one. Yep, I love when you called me that name. It always knew that I always liked you because no one calls me that. Hmm. What the heck happened to you and them? As he points to the nomu. Well, we all got kidnapped and turned into, you know, into us monsters. But because of that crazy doctor. The quirk doctor, you mean? Yes, that guy. So, okay. As Muscular knows what they're talking about. So then they start fighting it out, and or actually Zuko, or they didn't attack Zuko, they attacked the pro heroes. As they were like, okay. As an Endeavor told All Might that the student in or Zuko encountered his friends, or his dead friends. So then All Might heard that. He says, Zuko is not the main target. Personally, I think that we have to look more deeper in it. As an Endeavor's like, okay, but some random building that one of the nomus accident or went and slammed the one of the pro heroes into, went and was gonna crush Zuko because Zuko is getting so confused, like what's going on. As Muscular was still fighting Stargirl, or like Stars and Stripe, but they noticed that, and or actually Muscular used his muscle fibers, and he went over. Or actually, only person that really did save him was a nomu, and from a building collapsing onto him. And so then, as sorry, and don't worry about these pictures. They're just because Zuko had. Or so then, whenever all of them, or so the Nomu says, "Bye, friend," or "Bye, Zuko," as he walks off in the like got into a prison bus thing to took him away. So they were like pretty happy that Zuko's still alive. So they or sorry, him saying, "Thank goodness that we don't have to rewind time" thing. As he or every everybody was so confused and all that stuff. So then, end of it, so they so then when Zuko got to the camp arc thing, I'm skipping on that part. So then the villain took him away, and like put him in handcuffs, and the toga was is in this what if is way cuter than the that murderous one. So she was actually in this what if Toga was actually Mom. I was wait, hold on, not Mom. Jiro was or no. It was actually Mo's sister or daughter. Or no, I was gonna say. I'm trying to think. Was Momo's cousin, and so she wasn't a villain, but she always got lollipops from. But when she saw Zuko, she really, really wanted to ask him out. A kid that looks like she's younger. She really wants that. So then, no. So she left. She leaves, and she was like, "Bye." She was gonna say like, but lucky for her, she doesn't say it, but she says, "My boyfriend," thing. As she was half of Zuko's age, or like really, because he's a younger child. She was like half of, or she is like Azumi's age. But so she really wanted to date him. So then the All for One and I'm skipping that part of them breaking in thing. Like the pro heroes break it, the wall breaks it into a wall and ends up attacking the villains, all that stuff. And when All for One, or when Zuko got up, because he's the only one that got captured. So All for One says, "Ah, your name must be Zuko Midoriya. I heard so much about you. How it will become as he so between and All Might, he popped out of the scene and just like straight up before and like punching All for One as he says, "That boy will be mine. He will be my sensei." Because in secret, he told the doctor that I will give Zuko my quirk. Because it seems like Shiraki-sen is not suited enough to do it. Just hope that he pulls through all the way. As All Might, he secretly, or actually, Nezu and him were talking about, well, I should give Zuko my quirk. But at the same time, he is. So then Nezu says, okay, how about? As it was both sides wants to give their quirks to Zuko. Who, as so then all for One at first was ends up and he says if no one or if I don't have Zuko, no one will. As he straight up kills Zuko like with such brutal force, pierced right through. And he resets the time thing all the way to exam and doing all that things. And All for One's and quirk thing, he got copied into it. So then All for One's memories was also inside of Zuko's, like copied one. So as he used like a lot of abilities, like from Fire and Ice to or to his strengthening up his thread things, and like what his big brother does, to creating stuff out of his own, like those like things that are on his arm, those fibers things. He actually uses them in like most of his like design things, just like similar to Momo's one, but he can't rip them out. Like he just yoink and starts using them and like do all that weird stuff. So then the similar fight thing, and it's all similar, but All Might says as he almost tried that again, but Zuko ends up catching it. Like, no, you will not do that again to me. It's the second time. As he straight up lifts up All for One and throws him around like a Barbie doll thing or whatever that's. As they were so impressed that Zuko could wield all the power without losing control of himself. Like, he went from being a kid with the special ability of can never die thing to being a man with all the memories and all the quirks. So, and one for all, or no, I accidentally said one for all, but all for one and quirk, when it got copied into Zuku's, it name got changed to Zuku to one for one, or to Zuku. No, so basically cleaned out all the like all for ones and remixed it, like reboots it to, and it doesn't have any of the like, he could remember everybody's names and everybody, but he was like, yep, can never die, can never breathe, and it resets the entire world. As so, her, she like asked him, or actually, Zuko uses his own version of All for One to toss All for One like a salad. As Almine, he knows that Zuko can handle All for One pretty easily. And he can also, he trained his body so much that, like, even his mind, he trained. He was so prepared for it. All for One actually asked him, here you go. I'm giving you my quirk of one for all. As he was now the powerhouse. Like, his power, he had the proper training and all that stuff. So he could handle his. Basically, he always says to himself, like in his head, saying, if you train. Or his brother actually tells him, you have a most powerfulest quirk. Sorry. And then not mean to do that. Let me do this. And then. So, if you. He says, if you handle my quirk, you can handle anybody's quirk. As he basically is now the roundhouse thing. Like, he can go toe to toe with anybody. So he ends up like he does all that stuff. It rewind one time, or actually Shiraki-sen went something right past them and ends up touching Zuko and killing him, and it resets everything. And I'm not even going into like details of how many times that he died in this what if. It's pretty dark. So he he doesn't turn into like a villain kind. So he was like his own, and he tries to keep it in to himself of instead of constantly, but Endeavor, or not Endeavor, sorry, Muscular says, okay, Zuko, because Zuko, or Muscular is so worried about his brother that he doesn't, like, he doesn't hold any grudges against him. But he he is like big and clumsy, but he doesn't like kill. So, and their sister says, "Come on, Zuko, come on." As his superhero outfit was like wearing a mask and with his like, I forget his, kind of like his usual outfit, but with a mask that keeps him from going total berserk thing, or helps him instead of taking like firing 100 bullets. All right. So he ends up getting so much power that he's like, he just, yeah, tells them that he's gonna go to sleep, as he actually he always tells them that the new quirks, like he, one time he tried to use like 4 out of his 5 fingers to grab a water bottle because he had Shiraki sends his quirk, but he actually knows how to turn them off. So he's like, okay, good. And all that stuff. It's just, it's like endless cycle of him trying to, like, it's slow, painful, but then he was like, okay, good. Now I'm getting better at his, because his brother knows that, or they all of them know that Joku can never die, or else it will be revived constantly. All right, so that's why, and so one time, Bunny Girl tries to train him harder than anyone. Like, she actually says, "Gonna train you harder than I never trained anybody." So as she ends up just straight up kills him, like, wait for a minute, boom, as it. So then it rewinds um, like, she was like, okay, it went right through like different things again and again. She was like, yeah, that sounds like something I would do. And overhaul, like, did the same thing. But he was like done. Hey, as you all are probably thinking, I can imagine how many times that he has died in this what if. Well, there was actually a grave thing that skeleton guy, or the Grim M, I call him Grim. He actually puts his like old memory things, like his old body, into like he basically filled up the grave full of planets full of graves kind. And so then it was pretty interesting. And the other time, Jiro, who accidentally blew a eardrum off and kills Zuko, it rewinds them back, and so he gains Jiro, and everybody. So he was like the powerhouse thing. Like, okay? He tries to. He actually uses like different powers of everybody. And he and about that all for or one for all. He got Gavin, and so he got that power, and he kept that power. So then he became more and more and more powerful. Him and the quirk became so powerful that they both, or he could control his. So then that same girl, not Aries, but Toga, uh, actually walks up to Zuko and kisses him on the lips things. It's just, I'm talking about Toga kissing Deku. Not, it's not me. That's what I don't want that porn thing or whatever that. So, when she was the same age as Zuko, and so, because Ochako straight up tells Deku, and or actually Ochako and Toga went up to Zuko and just straight up told him that they both want to marry him. So, and Momo saw his or her her cousin asking Deku. So she says, "Why are you gonna date that cousin? Or why are you dating Zuko? You know he's powerful and he's probably older than you." As they they didn't have like special rules thing. So then so Ochako and Toga, or actually Toga says, "I don't really care, but I really want." And so they both, like, all three of them got married, and he ends up, or so muscular was his man thing, and like Toga was being, not murderous kind, but she changed a lot. They actually had 8 kids, and and one or so it's basically their appearance of, because Zuko gained so much, looks like, here, hold on. They kind of looked like when I said 8, so it was 4 girls. So basically, her, the one that, her, 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 and her, basically. And then for 4 boys, was one looked like Ida, Yami, that's in the background, him, Denki, Bakugo, and Todoroki. They kind of, or their kids looks just like those, but with like green hair. But for like Todoroki, he had green where white is and bright red on where his left side is. He looked like a Christmas ornament thing. So then, so Muscular was dating actually one of the class 1B students, actual ones, that was, no, I'm trying to think. Well, I remember. It was her, actual her, not the child version that looks like her. Actual her. And then, so their sister dates, actually, I'm trying to think, was actually dating that redhead guy, the one that, like, look, I'm a rock guy. So so then his sister, or their other sister, Nate's actually one of the Class 1B students. Guess which one? Because was putting her with Weld Boy right here. When I'm so so then so their mothers are like so happy that they were got married and all they had their own kids. Like Muscular was dating or got married to her, actual her. So they had a kid that had could use their like could generate their flesh thing and does like similar to what she does. She actually or he actually pulls them off and uses them as weapons. The fibers, that's what it is. I oh my sorry, I was itching my back real quick. So then and they had him and or no her and redhead guy had a kid that had order or like actually I'll say it force order or order or force. It's a more like buffed up version of order. So it allows a person to become. It's similar to Medusa, but instead of turning people to stone, it turns people or turns things into steel or rock, stone. Sorry, but they could still move around just a little bit, not like a whole crap ton or crud ton. Sorry. So then, so Zumi, he was and him had the basically a machine duplication quirk that their kid has. And so because she or because they she or their kid could shoot out fire breath, telekinesis, and welding things together. So then so then Zuko was like, okay. As and then they like did all that. But the hell it was kinda weird, like and Momo Irozu or actually it was her, because her I don't know. I really don't know how the system thing works. The if someone's cousin would wait, that's or so Toga and Ochako Uraka now married to Zuko Midoriya, so they both became Toga Midoriya, and Ochako Midoriya. It was kind of weird, but hey, that's what My Hero Academia universe has. Hey, so Momo Irozu, she still has her name, but she ends up got married to Todoroki and had a kid that could make stuff out of ice and fire. She already seen what will happen if her and muscular would use their quirks together. Or would look like. Because of Zuko. Like, one time Momo asked Zuko if he wants to show her that what will be like a quirk thing of muscular and hers. So then he shows it and she says, "Yep, thank you, Zuko," as she explains to him that find the right match thing, as he even one time he made the ice glasses things, and so she ends up like seeing what Todoroki and hers quirk looked like. So they were like, okay. And so this is the end of the story. I hope that you enjoy. Please leave a like, share, subscribe, because it will help my channel out. After all, it is dead anyway, so see you in the next video. Probably tomorrow or the next day. So bye-bye.